Hi everyone. So today's video is going to be about choosing a phonemic awareness program to purchase. So these are some pre-packaged programs that are excellent and can be embedded right into your Orton Gillingham lesson and will support the work that you do with OG. So they're very OG friendly programs and they're going to save you some serious effort in creating and writing your own drills. Is it possible to create and write your own drills? Yes. And in fact, until about 6 months ago, that's how I was doing it. And then I realized I'm working with, over a dozen kids, and they were all at a different level with their phonemic awareness. And some really trustworthy people had already come up with this sort of continuum of drills. Now, it doesn't stop me from problem solving and adding in my own phonemic awareness lessons or drills to target a very specific weakness or error pattern that I see. I still do that. Like if there are certain phonemes that are tricky for the kids, I still need to zoom in on those. But in terms of like a daily drill that just takes a couple minutes, let's use a program that just can be embedded in a couple minutes at the start of each Orton Gillingham lesson. So let me show you the two programs that I recommend. You might choose to buy them both. It depends on where you're thinking career-wise that you want to go. It might depend on what your current job is. So if you are a primary grade teacher or if you're a reading specialist or a SPED teacher, this would just naturally fit into your work in your day job, and you'd get benefit from it tutoring. If you really wanted to dive deep and get the full tutoring experience and start building up your toolbox, then I would also recommend buying these. Okay, so let me just share the screen. And let's talk about this book first. So this is Kilpatrick's Equipped for Reading Success. You might hear out there on the OG internet, you might hear references to Kilpatrick's 1-minute drills. Those are found in this book. So the second half of the book is where the drills start. Let me show you the table of contents so you can see what this book is. Okay, so just some, if you're in this class at Gordon College by now, you have a lot of content knowledge on how critical phonemic awareness development and intervention is for typical and struggling readers. So this is just sort of setting the stage for it. Then it's also going to be talking about how to actually use the drills, how to assess, and they give you the assessment. But I'm just going to skip ahead right now to the practical piece, the 1-minute activities. I just added little tabs on here for me for each of the drills. And you know what actually I'm going to do before I show you the drills? I'm going to show you that the appendices are really thorough here and super helpful. And what I'm going to do is go to Appendix C, where it has the phonological awareness screening test, the PAST. If you have a child in grade 1 or above, this would be my go-to phonemic awareness screener. I think for a kindergartner, it starts too high. It does start with kindergarten tasks, but they're just not broken down enough. Grade 1 and up, maybe the grade 1s, grade 2 and up for sure, I would use this screener. So let me scoot to that page so you can see what the screener looks like. It's also free to download online, and it's on Canvas for our class anyways. Yes, so it's free, and it has 4 different forms, which is great. So you can be using these and then do some progress monitoring later on. Now, it says you can't use it unless you read chapter 11. The directions are very straightforward and simple. It would be like giving the dibbles. Like there are some things to note about the timing and automaticity of their responses. But this is something that you are capable of just teaching yourself. Okay, so each test is only 2 pages. So Form A, and then that's the other side of Form A. That's it. It's 2 pages, and then it goes to the next level. So let's zoom in a little bit. We've got the top here. These are the different levels that you're going to see in the test. The highest correct level. Levels not passed below the highest correct level. Yes, so that's just, and then the highest automatic level. So this test does 2 things. It's looking for which ones you get correct and then which ones you get automatic. So that's a little interesting because sometimes kids can keep going a little bit with getting them correct with the accuracy, but their automaticity slows down. And so that's helpful for you to note. And then they have an approximate grade level as well. So you can see that developmentally, this really just goes up to late second grade, but when you're using it all the way through adult, of course, because if we pull out the past, it's because we're worried about a child's phonological skills and they're a struggling student. So you might be like, well, it's not showing them when they get to fourth grade. Well, phonological awareness should be tight and secure in first and second grade. So there's only so much further you can develop with it. It's a prerequisite skill. So there's really nothing past that age developmentally for typical kids. So it's got a few big chunks. It's got the syllable level, the onset rhyme level, the phoneme levels, the basic phoneme level, and then this is considered the advanced phoneme level. So I'm not going to go through how to assess this because that is going to come later on in our assessment lectures. Instead, I just wanted to show you that this assessment will tell you where the weakness is for your student, and then will tell you exactly where you need to start their drills. Okay, so the directions are very simple. You're basically, what you're doing is you're saying a word and you're having the child change one thing in the word. That is true for all the levels. The only thing that changes is what you're having the child change in the word. So this level D is the syllable level, okay, with 2-syllable words. So everything we see here is just going to be a 2-syllable word and we're changing a syllable. So for example, I would say to the student, say birthday. Now say birthday, but don't say birth. So once I know this, and it will take you about exactly 1 day to learn the script, it's easy peasy. Once I learn the script, I'm not looking at the script the whole time. All I'm doing is looking here. Say disk drive. Now say disk drive, but don't say disk. And this shows me the answer I'm expecting. Say bedtime. Now say bedtime, but don't say bed. And there's the answer that I'm expecting. So on my lesson plan, I just write Kilpatrick D1 number 1, and then I write how many out of 5 or how many out of 10 that they got correct. And then my next day I would write Kilpatrick D1 number 2, and then the score. You don't have to write the exact words in your lesson plan because we have it all here. Sometimes if there's some errors, I will write like a note about like the kind of error that I was noticing. Let me flip ahead and show you. Okay, let's go to the phoneme level. So remember, there's 2 chunks here, the basic phoneme and then the advanced phoneme. And it tells you what level we're working at. And for all of these, it gives you like this explanation at the beginning too. So it is very thorough. Okay, let's take a look here. So for this one, I've got my script up there in case I need that as a guide, but also it's very clear right here what to do. Say brush. Now say brush, but don't say b. Say great. Now say great, but don't say g. Say ski. Now say ski, but don't say s. So we just go through it like that, and that's it. Now, sometimes my students are in such a role that I say brush, now don't say b. Like if they've been doing this with me for weeks or months, or if their phonological issues are more subtle, sometimes they don't need me to repeat the word. You know what I mean? And actually they've even asked, okay, I get it. And then I just am on a roll. Say ski, don't say s. Say trim, don't say t. And they're able to do it like that. And actually in the administration guide from Kilpatrick, he does say that you can trim and streamline those directions once the student understands it, okay? So I won't go through anymore, but I think you can get the gist of it here. And this is a tool that is just in my cart right next to where I work. All of my students who are getting Ord and Gillingham from me I use this with them. So just to tell you how useful it is, it's with all my students. If I have kindergarten students who I'm doing OG with, or a first grade student with severe dyslexia, I would use Heggerty instead. Okay, let me show you what Heggerty looks like. Okay. So Heggerty is also a spiral book with pre-planned drills in it. So there are 3 Heggerty curriculums. There's the pre-K one, the K one, and the primary one. At the time of this recording, I only owe the kindergarten one, so I'm going to show you that. But I'm probably going to buy the primary one as well, because like I told you, I do have some of those kids who are really struggling, and Kilpatrick just seems a little bit too advanced for them. But the kindergarten phonemic awareness is maybe less than I need. So if you work in a classroom, if you work in a school pre-K to 2, as a classroom teacher, reading specialist, or sped teacher, I would purchase this for sure, one of these, you know what I mean? Because you're gonna find this is just like the 1-minute drill. It's more like the 3 or 4 or 5-minute drill, but it's the minutes drills that you would do you could either sprinkle it in multiple times through your day, or it could be just as a warm-up for every intervention lesson that you do, or small group, or it could be part of your whole class warm-up, you know, right before you do your foundations, flashcards, or whatever program you have. Likewise, with Kilpatrick, you could pop this right at the beginning of your Orton-Gillingham lesson, and you would do the same thing. You'd write Heggerty, week 10, day 1. I mean, in my brain, I just converted that to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even though it doesn't say it. You know what I mean? Because as a tutor, private tutor for the clinic, you're only seeing your students twice a week. So you could decide that. So it really is, it's, I don't know how, 35 weeks. So it's meant to go like the course of a school year, and it's meant to be used in general ed and or intervention. Their website is excellent, and their beginning of their book, just like Kilpatrick, is excellent. So I'm just showing you what we've got here. I'm not going to study it. This is what they have. This is what they include in their book. Here's the scope and sequence. So if you wanted the breakdown from easy to hard with phonological awareness, it shows you the breakdown. Okay. And then it also tells you what weeks you're going to find it in and page numbers. So that would be helpful if you're doing this for intervention purposes and you're zooming in with like a struggling first grader. You don't necessarily start in week 1. You might be thinking, well, what from their assessment and their needs, where are they on this continuum? What things do they need help with? And then where would I go? And in fact, instead of using this one, because this one is just bleh, too much, when I've used it for intervention purposes, I look at the scope and sequence, and I look at, okay, what does my student or students need to work on? And if rhyming is fine, you know, I might be zipping down to a later week. And then it shows you kind of like the breakdown. You can see vertically what is included in that week. In the beginning, the first couple of weeks, they're just hearing rhymes. So it's not even like they don't have to say if the words rhyme. They don't have to produce rhymes. You just say, these words rhyme. Yeah, that. These words rhyme. Time, lime. So you're really like, it starts super low. The preschool one obviously starts even lower. Of course, the Common Core, but we're not really thinking about that with the reading clinic, even though we know it matches up. If you needed to prove to your administrator at your school why they should buy this for you, here you go. You've got some studies ready to be cited that you can prove. And even, look whose name I just saw there, Kilpatrick, Motes, Shaywitz, all of our people. Adams 90, that's going to be, you're going to see that everywhere, right? Okay, so it does include nursery rhymes. I don't think you need to know any of this, the glossary. Okay, and here we go. And so here it is for week 1. Now the difference with Kilpatrick and Heggerty is Heggerty really has a lot of hand motions and movements and cueing by the teacher, which is really critical, and especially because it's meant for the primary kids. So I found that to be very helpful. And if these little directions don't make sense for you, they have videos online, just little free videos, to model what it looks like to do these drills. So for example, look at this right here underneath, the punch it out hand motion. The teacher models punch it out using his or her left hand. Slide your forearm across your body when saying the first part of the word and punch straight up into the air when using the final sound. So they said left. So I'm going to do job. Job. Okay. I actually do a rocket, but I guess I can see why you would do it the sideways, because you're trying to get kids to do it like that, the linear way, the way the words look on the page. So I guess I didn't read that too carefully when I've been doing that with my students. So anyways, you can go on and on with this one. So both Kilpatrick and Heggerty, I mean, really, if money wasn't an issue, get them both. They're so useful. But most importantly, think about the job where you are, because it would help you get the most bang for your buck if you could use it at school too. If we knew our students at this time, if you knew your student, the assignments you had, did you have a 5th grader or a 1st grader, that might help you decide which one would be more useful to you. But anyways, you could always write your own drills, but I highly suggest you purchase one of these. Now let me show you the websites for each of them. I should have started here, I guess. Okay, let's look at the Kilpatrick one. So the website I'm seeing at the top is equippedforreadingsuccess.com. This is where I bought his book. I don't think you can buy it from Amazon. At least when I tried to buy it, I just bought it for $50 here. I click shop. Taking a little while. And I do own other books of his as well, but the one that with the drills is the one that says Reading Success, and it says a comprehensive step-by-step program. So that's what you want if you're looking for those drills that we talked about. The past test can be downloaded right here for free. It's also included in the book, and it's on Canvas anyways. But if you just needed to ever access this quickly, you could find it online. It's easier to print it off the computer or save it onto your computer as a PDF than photocopying the book each time. And it does have the directions for you as well, which is nice. Okay, so that was, I don't think there's anything else to show you for Kilpatrick. Oh, in case you're wondering, who is this guy and why should I care about him? He is, he knows what he's doing. He is the big phonemic awareness guy right now. And I've heard him speak digitally, not live, but I've heard him do webinars, and he has a really nice way of speaking. Sometimes listening to a researcher speak or an expert can be painfully dry. This kid loves struggling readers, loves the reading brain. He truly, you can sense his passion while he speaks, and it's really easy to understand his writing and his speaking. So anything by him, 2 thumbs up. All right, let's look at the Heggerty website. Okay, so the Heggerty website, lots of videos on here, which is different than Kilpatrick. So this is just like a little bit, let's see if I can make things smaller so we can see more. Lots of videos to explain things to you. This website was just done over, it looks like. Let's click on curriculum. They also have Spanish, but for now we're interested in the curriculum, the English. I'm going to click on primary because I already showed you the kindergarten one. So it's geared towards 1st and 2nd grade students. You can buy it, download samples, and the samples would be just like the pages I showed you. I think it picks a couple of random weeks from the year that you could work on. So yeah, for example, I'll just do this now so you can take a look. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, I'm not going to download that, but you can. And you would get, if you needed to compare the different scope and sequences for the preschool, kindergarten, and primary, you could just download them each. And that would be helpful for you if you wanted to know which one should you purchase. And likewise, assessments, they're going to want me to give me, I'm not going to do my email right now, but you can get the Heggerty assessment to match the what's it called, the curriculum. All right. So we do not need to do this. I believe they have, I'm trying to find their free videos because during COVID time, they put up a lot of videos for people. But I'm not seeing that now. so that's okay. But perhaps I can send you some links later. All right, so we're done taking a look at these programs. Now I'm going to move on to the other presentations.